Rudy Hoffman brought us Moon Leap a very long time ago, and now Playtay has re-released it in their exclusive type of very well engineered box. I found this at Spiel 2022 and they were very kind to give me a copy for me to review, so here is my review. Is this going to be worth the amount of money that you have to pay to get your hands on it? So play wheel. In Moon Leap, you're going to be astronauts who want to, well, leap all over the moon. That is pretty much it. Production-wise, they have redone the box, and I like this because it basically uses the box as the board as well, but the components are just these meeples with astronaut shapes and a die, which I'm going to take a look at in a minute. But before that, we're going to take a look at the rules. It comes with 3 different sets of rules in Korean, in English, and in German. The rules are next to nothing. It's just this, just a small pamphlet. It doesn't really have a lot of rules. This is a family game for ages 8 or up, and up to 4 players, I believe. So that is it. It's 5 minutes to read and 10 to 15 minutes to play. The box turns into the board. That comes with some very cool features because everything is in here, and it also comes with 2 little problems. One is that, as you can see right now, this doesn't sit flat on the table. I'm going to have to train it a little bit, which is one of my pet peeves. Nothing major, but I still find it irritating. And the other thing is that because of those many tokens, there is no insert and you have to put them in a bag. Otherwise, they are just going to be going around. And the real problem with this box is that it opens very easily. It does have a magnet that keeps the flap closed, but on transit it's not really that difficult that this opens if you're in a bag, if you have this in a bag and you're carrying it elsewhere. So this is something to very much keep in mind. The printing is beautiful, don't get me wrong, and the design is clever and fun. So there are an awful lot of things to love about this box and this board, but there's this couple of considerations that you need to keep in mind, otherwise you could end up losing an awful lot of these meeples, which ain't great. The meeples themselves are really cute. They are meant to be astronauts, and you have a number for each player. So white, blue, orange, gray, and lighter gray. Okay, for the players, and 3 random ones. And then the die. The die is both embossed and painted. So that's good because that means that it's going to last a very, very long time. The gameplay is incredibly simple. You're literally going to put, depending on how many of these players you have, you're going to have to roll your die and place the number. See, every astronaut comes with a number on its back. And you have to just leap about. So if, for instance, you roll and you have the orange and you roll a 2, you have to take your number 2 astronaut and bring it to the nearest available space. If you roll a 3, you either put it into play, number 3, or you will have to roll it to the next available space. And the rest of the players are going to do the same. And this is a racing game. You're meant to be getting back to Earth. There are a couple of extra rules. For instance, depending on how many players you're playing, you have several barriers throughout the board. So 2, 3, or 4. From the moment a token, one of these meeples, go over this barrier, depending on gang, how many players, you can divide the result. So for instance, if you have a 5, you roll your 5, you can move astronaut number 1 and astronaut number 4, or number 3 and number 2, or just number 5. But you always must be able to move both astronauts, not just one. Oh, I have a 5, so 3 and 2, I'm only going to move 3 because the 2 is not. No, you have to do both. And if you manage to get 3 astronauts in a row, you get an extra turn. So that is a very good thing to get. If there are astronauts of other players on top of you, so ahead of you, and say that you roll, I don't know, a 1 in here, yes, you would take them all the way here to number 5. And that's it. That's how the game plays. There is some scoring at the end, which is very simple, and you start again, because you will probably want to start again. The good thing about this game is that it's simple, it's quick, and it is good fun. However, if you are not a friend of randomization, this game you may find a little bit frustrating because it is very die dependent. Because at the end of the day, apart from being able to split the result of the die into that you can move, there isn't really a lot else that you can do. So you are die dependent. But quite frankly, this is a game that with a little bit of care you can take anywhere that kids would be over the moon with, pun intended, and that it is fun and doesn't take an awful lot of space. So I would certainly recommend it. Right now it has a 6 on the Board Game Geek rating, which I would say it is okay. People like Eric Brosilis says, this game has many turns on which you make no choices, but it can be amusing. Think of the no choices turns as like being the dummy in Contract Bridge. There you go. I think that is quite fair. I will agree with that. Tabletop for World, a fast, fun family game based entirely on luck. The box turning into a board is genius, and the art is beautiful. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I'm not sure it's entirely on luck because you still have a little bit of tactic to divide the result between 2 tokens. You see, Leonardo says there's luck, but also sometimes quite important decisions to make. An entertaining game. So yeah, I think this is definitely worth taking a look at. If you already have, I would love to hear what you have to say about this game. But in the meantime, thank you very much indeed for being there. It is truly and genuinely appreciated. And until the next time, I will talk to you very, very soon. So play we are.